Hey there! Today I'm going to be making a dried floral comb. And I really do prefer doing these flower combs. They're really easy to just stick in most people's hair, and then it's just like a little light touch and something you could even potentially make ahead of time if you use dried elements. So I just have all these dried odds and ends. You just kind of can collect just whatever cute little dainty things you like. And then I get these. You can probably get these from Michael's or online, these little combs. I actually would be interested in finding some that aren't plastic or like a metal one. You know those like wire metal ones that your grandma had? Those might be cool. I have floral glue, but I honestly think with dried materials, you could probably use something much more pedestrian, like Elmer's or something like that. And then I got little clippers, but again, you can just kind of break this with your fingers too. If you don't have nice clippers, that's not 100% necessary. Scissors or a knife work as well. So I like to start with my greens kind of first. And this is little pieces of bracken fern from left over from a wedding last December. So it's a little bit brittle. I love bracken fern once it's dried. It's so pretty. And you kind of want to be thinking about like what direction they're going to be coming off of the comb. Like if they're sticking too far out, it's not going to work. You kind of want them to kind of go with this curve that's already here. And this glue is super tacky. This is Oasis Floral Adhesive. There are other brands that are less tacky. This dries super fast though, so if you're impatient at all, it's faster than some of the other glues. Like if you're using fresh flowers, I've noticed it kind of can leave a little discoloration. And you just need a little dot of it, not a ton, especially for these light little elements. And so I'm just going to do two pieces that are kind of coming off to the side, and maybe one little piece going off the other direction, or I could keep it asymmetrical. And if you have like a little cup or a tube or something like that, that works really well to keep this upright. Otherwise it can just kind of leak everywhere. I always go away with super tacky fingers because it kind of just gets everywhere. The further it sticks out from the comb, the bigger the piece is going to be. So just like when you're making an arrangement, this is really your kind of groundwork for the rest of the piece. It becomes difficult to add stuff onto the edges at later phases once there are face flowers on there and stuff like that. Okay, so this is a really kind of funky asymmetrical guy. Then I'm going to go in with another layer of foliage, these lunaria, and sometimes the glue is still tacky enough you can just add it on, or you can add directly onto the stem. And I want to make sure I'm keeping all the flowers I'm adding either flat or kind of going slightly over the top. Sometimes when you put the piece in, you can just see this very top here. Do another lunaria piece, and you can, you know, even rather than feeling like you have to use the whole stem in whatever shape it's in, you can always break off little pieces, make it a little bit more delicate. You're not sure exactly what you're going to use, you can always kind of like hold things up to it and then add it on. Like if I'm trying to decide between what element I want to use next, you can always just kind of place it on there and eyeball before you commit to gluing. And you can do all of this also with fresh flowers as well, but the nice thing about using dried is that they're so light, like they really don't need a ton to keep them in place. So you can really create layers, whereas those fresh flowers are a bit heavier, so it's a little bit trickier to use. And if you are using floral glue, it does actually like getting pulled off and stuck back on while it's still tacky. Okay, so this is really, really delicate, and now I'm needing to weigh it down with something. I have these really pretty little hydrangeas that can fill some weight. And I've also got these hops that I'm kind of thinking of those as my focal flower. But it's kind of nice to stick those little floaty flowers on and then into one kind of point on there. And then you can go in and cover with bigger flowers. So you don't have to, or you could do the reverse and kind of wedge them back in under your bigger flowers, but these bigger flowers really do a much better job of hiding the glue underneath. So I just think tucking the end of the stems of these more floaty flowers really is effective. Alright, so there we are so far. Okay, and so that little last spot I'm going to go in with my hops. And sometimes for these bigger, more focal flowers that are going to be more flat against the comb, you can even just pull their stems off and just glue their little butts down in there. And I like having like a big one and a small one, kind of. And then you can start to look and see if there's holes. You can always tuck little pieces back in if there's anywhere where your glue is showing up, or once you try putting it in your hair once it's dried, sometimes more holes become apparent. It's good to have a little extra on hand to kind of poke back in there. And if you can get around to doing this before the glue from the other parts isn't dry yet, then you can just kind of hop on that bandwagon. Otherwise you need to kind of add a little bit more glue in. What do you guys think? I'm gonna wait till it dries to put it in my hair, so I don't want glue hair. And make sure to seal this back up when you're done. I've definitely killed, just like any glue I guess, but I've definitely killed this even faster than normal glue because it dries so fast. Let's see how it looks. Just a little cute thing. And you see how if the leaves are curling up, it kind of, once it's on a head, it kind of continues to do that, versus if you wanted it to go more down and around, you could pay attention to the direction of those stems when you're gluing them on, but pretty cute. Alright, well let me know what you guys think in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that was fun, and I hope it gives you some fun ideas to try. I hope you're all doing great, and I'll see you guys next time.